Megan here. Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, today we're going to be working with Loki, and Belle's over in the corner there, sitting just behind the kennel. Loki had gone on a walk and we had gone to the store a little bit, but he had taken a nap, so now he's not tired anymore, and you'll see that here in a minute. He just needs to kind of get the routine of things figured out, and then he does much better. So today we are going to be working on deep pressure therapy. It's also called DPT. A lot of people use it as a task if they have episodes where their blood pressure gets out of control and they can pass out due to it. This can kind of help to re-regulate the blood pressure. It can also help if people faint. It shortens the episodes. There are a couple different ways to do this. So since Loki is big, he's 96 pounds, I don't like to have him lay across my chest. He's just a little bit too heavy for that. There we go. I was trying to get him to sit. He's a little bit too heavy for that, so I have him lay across my lap. Now, this is not a task that he does on a normal basis, which is why this looks really rough. I used him to kind of figure out how to teach deep pressure therapy, and that was pretty much it. Again, we don't use this on a regular basis. He's a mobility dog. You can already see he's starting to catch on that if I ask him to go off, I want him on that side and I want him sitting, because then he comes back across my lap. Now, to teach deep pressure therapy, they need to know how to lay down, and they need to be okay with laying down on uneven surfaces. So like you might put some shoes under them and make them lay on the shoes, or a pile of clothes, or just get them used to laying on some surfaces that are not flat, because your legs or your torso are not going to be flat. So what you need to do is you can either have the dog lay down on the side and then lure them across your legs, or what I did was I had Loki stand over my legs and then I would have him lay down. So I try and lure him slowly, but Loki kind of knows this game, so he knows exactly what to do. So if you lure them across your body and then tell them the down command, any sign that they are going to lay down, you treat and reward for. Here I am working on duration. So I had told him, and my word for this is pressure. I had told him pressure, and then as he lays there longer, I give him treats for the duration. I also work on a couple other alerts, like crying, sobbing, arm itching, face rubbing. You see he alerts to there. Those kinds of things. So again, you lure them across your lap, tell them down, and when they lay down, you give them the treat. He went a little low there on my legs. That's where I want him. I want him right across the top of my legs. I don't want him down by my shins. It's just not as comfortable for me, especially since he tends to sit on my knees, which for me is not fantastic. So I prefer him to be further up on my leg, and so I corrected that. Here, I'm trying to get his head down. Normally when a dog performs deep pressure therapy, they have their head down. Loki does not do that. So I'm trying to reward low over my lap so that he does lower his head. It kind of works. But you'll see with Belle, we've mastered it with Belle. She does that whenever she goes in and does therapy work. Having him wait for the command here. Here, I'm having him lay down and kind of move around my legs, just so that he realizes that not every time I'm going to ask him to come across my legs. And here I do give him the command. He's a little bit low, so I redo it. And sit. And then I bring him across the upper part of my legs again. That was much better, so I'll reward for that. Now, to teach them an off command, you can toss treats, or in this case I'm using their dinner. You can toss it off to the side and tell them off, or you can lure them off your legs, however is easiest for you to do it. Either way works, you're going to get the same result. He's kind of laying in an awkward position here. I guess he gets a front leg stretch while he's at it. Good. He's waiting for the command. Okay, so here I'm getting into a different position. There's some people that like it just across their lap. Other people prefer it across their chest. I'm going to show you across the chest or across the stomach. This is not the way I prefer just because he is so heavy, but I will go ahead and show it to you. You do this the same way. You lure them across your body, and then you tell them to lay down. And just like that. As you can see, for him, it's not as comfortable. For me, it's not as comfortable. I just prefer him on my legs, but the choice is yours. Here I'm rewarding for duration, and then I tell him to get off. There we go, he hopped over, he didn't step on me that time. The other way that you can do it is you lure them from the bottom of your feet, and you have them come up and they lay long ways on you. I don't know if he'll do this, let's see. Oh yeah, he will. It looks really weird, but some people prefer that. This is a more intense version of deep pressure where more of their body is on your body. So there is a lot of weight on me right now, and it's not super comfortable. So this is pretty short, and I do have him get off, and then we go back to just using the legs. Alright, so here we're going to try and get him to come onto my lap for pressure if I have my legs crossed. This is not a super big target for him. He's a big dog, and so this is going to be a really tight fit. I reward here because he is technically across my lap even though he's not laying down. This is really uncomfortable for him, and you can see him trying to problem solve his way around this. He eventually gets it a little bit right here. Again, he doesn't put his butt all the way down. There we go. That's what I wanted. So I'll reward heavily for that. This works better with a smaller dog like Belle. Not as great with a 96-pound German Shepherd like Loki. He's a little bit too big to come across onto my crossed legs. So. Alright, and here I'm showing you the other option, which is straight on with the legs when you're sitting up. So most of his body is on my legs now, and he's going long ways instead of horizontally. It's all personal preference. You do it the same way. You lure them up, and then you tell them to lay down. Make sure to work this from both directions, so this is coming from the opposite way. So please make sure to work both directions with this, because you never know like how your situation will be, where you're going to be if you're in an aisle or if you're just in an enclosed space. Loki obviously prefers to come from my right side, but here I'm desensitizing him to movement, rocking, crying, petting, just loving on him a little bit here. He gets a little bit uncomfortable. He's not a super cuddly dog. He likes to be near me. He likes to be in the same room, but he doesn't really like a whole lot of hands-on. So this is desensitizing him. I'm constantly feeding him in that lower hand there that you see by my hip, while I pet him and while I hug him and all that kind of stuff. So those are all desensitizing things that you need to do whenever you do deep pressure therapy with your dog, because you never know. There we go, I corrected that. He had gotten a little uncomfortable and he had gotten up, and so I gave him the command again. He laid right back down, which was perfect, and I gave him a treat, and then I continued with the desensitizing. Alright, here I'm working on some other alerts. So that was a crying alert, this is a scratching alert, all while he is doing deep pressure. So you need to make sure that if you do have other alerts for your dog, that you are working them while they are providing deep pressure, just in case they need to alert while they are doing that. Working on duration here, so he's been here for a good few seconds. He was looking at my hand. When he looked back up at me, kind of waiting, like asking what's next, that's when I gave him the reward. You'll see he starts to do that a lot more frequently. I didn't ask for that kiss, but he gave me one anyway. So I always encourage him to be affectionate, because he's not super affectionate. He, like I said, he likes to be in the same room, likes to be right next to me, but doesn't necessarily want me petting him and loving on him all the time. So anytime he shows me that affection, I try and give him a reward for that. Here I tell him to place, and then I go ahead and I give him the rest of his food here, and then we're going to move on to working with Belle. Okay, we have Belle now, and we also have her supper, and Belle does deep pressure therapy regularly when she goes in and does her therapy work. So a lot of people really enjoy having Belle provide DPT if they're having some sensory issues, or they just want to feel close to a dog. She's really great at it. She has a wonderful personality. She's also about the perfect weight for it. She's about 35 to 36 pounds, so she's heavy enough that they feel the presence of her on their legs, but she's not too heavy like Loki, where she'll like crush you if you're not ready for it. So she's really good at this. So we warm her up with doing a little bit of deep pressure. We warm her up with the off command of getting off of the legs. So yeah. This is just for fun. Have her do a little sit pretty, because she's adorable, and why not? Alright, so this is how you would do it. You would start it. You have them lay down, and then you slowly lead them across your lap, and you reward for any improvement and progression towards actually coming all the way across your lap. That's one really nice thing about Belle. She is able to break it down and start over, which is wonderful to show you guys. So Belle's really good about keeping her head down, and we trained her to do this. We just hold our hand down there by our hip, and that puts her head down across our lap. It works better with smaller dogs than larger dogs. Some people prefer that when the dogs are giving them pressure, just because then the dog's not like staring at them, they aren't looking around. It makes a lot of people more comfortable, especially with an unfamiliar dog, if the dog has their head down. I was just showing you there that she can lift her head up and down. Now I do have food in my hand, so she is just following my hand. However, I normally tell people that when she is on their lap, if they want her head down, then they need to keep their left hand down by their hip. And if they want her head up, then they can use whatever hand they want. Alright, so here, she's never done this before. We've never had her try to go across the chest. Most people are sitting up whenever she does deep pressure therapy on them, but we're having her try this on me. And this is a totally new experience for her. There we go, I got her butt down. Beautiful. She had her head down there, so a reward for it. She's doing a really nice job there. Keeping her head nice and low. We're going for some duration here. I tried to get her to come across a little bit more. There we go. Going for some duration here. She's been doing this a few seconds now. Alright, here we're just trying some different positions with her. We're trying to get her to lay vertically on me. That's not super comfortable for her. You can tell she's not quite sure what to do with herself. You can see she's kind of straddling my back leg there. And her front paws are kind of going everywhere. So she's not entirely sure what to do here. But I am rewarding because she is staying there. So she is giving me some effort into trying to get into the right position and trying to get comfy. So I do reward for that. So we start with her in her normal pressure position, which is right across the legs. And then I'm trying to slowly work my hand up my body as I go and try and bring her to go straight forward. And that's a little better than it was before. So I'd rewarded for that. Oh, so close. Trying to come from the other way this time, and that's pretty good. She is straddling that other leg back there, but her front legs are doing much better up on the top. And I struggle to grab some food here. Alright, back to the normal pressure for her. I'm gonna slow it down and really show you how to do this. So you slowly lead the dog across your body, and I rewarded her there because she had a paw down, and then she did lay all the way down, so I went ahead and rewarded her quite a bit for that. So here we're going to practice her coming into pressure and then getting off of pressure. I think it's funny whenever we start doing these speed runs, she just kind of flops onto my legs, and she's normally in the right spot. And again, she's not real heavy, so it's not a huge problem, but I just like how she just kind of flops. Alright, so here we're going to start some desensitizing. This is just petting, touching her ears, touching her face. These are all things that she experiences regularly when she does her therapy work. So I'm playing with her ears here. I'm kind of grabbing her coat a little bit and tugging. I'm doing a lot of petting. All of these are really important to get your dog desensitized to. Because you just never know, especially if they're like a therapy dog or something. You never really know how patients are going to react to them. Some of them, instead of petting the dog, they'll pat the dog. So you'll see me doing that here a little bit. Some of them like to grab the fur, so you'll see me doing that a little bit. You just want to try and touch your dog on the ears, the face, the tail, play with the tails. Play with their paws and make sure that they don't break that command, because you never really know how patients are going to react to them, or how exactly you're going to react to them if you're having an episode or something. So the more desensitizing you can do to all of this, the better. Here she wants the reward, but I'm not giving it to her because she's not down. And there we go. She's down, and there goes her head. So I'll give her the reward there. Here I'm really playing with her ears a lot. She used to have a really big problem with people touching her. So she's come a very long way. And so I'm just trying to, shake her around a little bit, move her around, and have her not break the command. And she's doing a wonderful job. That'll do it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you learned a little something today. If you have any questions or comments about anything that you've seen in the video, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. As always, make sure to give us a like and a subscribe, and we will see you guys next time. Bye!